Hello everyone, welcome back. This video we continue with chapter 11 talking about decision making and relevant information. Last time we talked about topic 1 and topic 2. First we introduced the concept of being relevant and we practiced what you should do for one-time special order and then what you will do when you have the make or buy decision. So if you look at the Handout, you will find out that for both of the topics, I put the words that with idle capacity there. And then if you look at the make or buy, I also said with idle capacity. In this part, we will talk about still related with make or buy or one-time special order. But the only difference is we extended the first two topics by introducing the concept of opportunity cost. So what is the meaning of opportunity cost? We talk about that I only have $10, right? So if I want to get Starbucks, I have to give up, let's say, I only have $5. Okay, this is more practical. I only have $5. And then if I want to get Starbucks, I have to give up pizza or, Subway or, whatever, hamburger. So I have to give up something to get the Starbucks. Then the Starbucks, the cost will not just the money I will pay. It also has to include the money that I give up for my Subway or for my pizza. In financial accounting, we do not record the opportunity cost. You will never see debit opportunity cost, credit opportunity cost, or whatever. But in our financial accounting, we take opportunity cost as one of the costs for our decision making. So you will only have opportunity cost when you have a limited resource. So let's look at this concept together. I'm not going to write here. We did this in class, but opportunity cost means the contribution in our business life is the operating income, right? It's not really the Starbucks or pizza. It's the operating income forgone by not using a limited resource in its next second best alternative use. So you want to earn something, you want to take the special order, let's say, remember I said take the special order, right? You want to take the special order, but you are already working in the full capacity. Everybody working already so hard or whatever. If you want to take Tom's order, you have to give up Jackie's order, let's say. So the cost for Tom, that order is not just, the variable cost, material, whatever. Also, we have to include the cost that we are losing from not earning money from Jackie. So that's the contribution margin to our income forgone by not using our limited employee facility in the next second best alternative use, which is Jackie's order. So we chose to take Tom's order. Tom's order is our first best alternative use, but Jackie's is our second next best alternative use. So in order to have opportunity cost, there are two main things you have to know. One is called a limited resource. You only have opportunity cost when you have the limited resource. As I say, if I was a millionaire, I can get tons of Starbucks, tons of pizza, whatever I want to get, right? So then under that situation, I will not have opportunity cost because I do not need to give up pizza for Starbucks. I will have opportunity cost when I'm poor. I only have $5 to get this. I have to give up that. So that's for limited resource. Think about that situation, your business situation. If you can make a 20 pencil, currently you are making 10, and then remember the first case we said, now I approach it to you, I said, hey, how about making 5 pencils for me, right? So your capacity is you can earn 20 pencils, you can make 20 pencils, you are currently only making 10, and then I approached you with a 5 pencil the order. In order to get my order, you do not need to give up anything because before you only use half of your capacity. Now I'm taking like the other 5 out of 20, right? You still have some extra. So there is no opportunity cost because all the resource, employee, facility, they are extra, whatever. But if you are already working at full capacity, right, you don't have enough resource. You want to take my order, let's say you want to take my order, you have to give out your regular order, right? You want to take my order, you have to give up your regular order because you only have a limited resource. You only have a limited resource. And the second keyword is the next best alternative use. Is the next best alternative use. So let's say you have the facility, you can use it to manufacture your products, or you know what, you don't use the space, you can rent it out and earn money. So you have the second best alternative use. If you don't work for Tom, you can work for Jackie. But if there is no alternative use, if you just say, hey, I just forget about the rent, I just leave the house, like waste it or idle it away or whatever, then if you don't have alternative next best use, then there is no opportunity cost. There is no opportunity cost. Okay, so think about those two key things, and then we apply it to our this case. Okay, to this case. Continue with page 5. If you are buying 10 pencils from me, so remember we had our page 5. So let's say the only new thing is, if you buy the pencil from me, then you can use the facility, you can use employee to work on the notebook. And then every year, notebook will give you $200 in revenue and $170 as the cost. So the contribution margin that we could have got by making notebook if we purchase the pencil should be $30 per year, right? We could have got if we buy our pencil, so you can use the space to make notebook. And then should you make the pencil by yourself or should you buy pencil? Okay, so from page 5 we did this. We said without any opportunity cost, we said I say you should make, because your operating income will be $10 more, because if you make, the total cost is $150, but if you buy, the total cost is $160. I just work here, I go from here then. But now it said you have a chance of making $30 extra if you buy the pencil from me, so you can use the facility to work on the notebook. So we have talked about, we said, oh, under that situation, we have something called opportunity cost. And we already calculated that the opportunity cost should be $30. So my question is, there is something called opportunity cost. And opportunity cost is just a part of your relevant cost, right? You still have your variable manufacturing, you still have your avoidable fixed manufacturing cost, you still have your purchase cost. Opportunity cost is just an extra cost. So we know we have to put 30 somewhere. So should I put 30 under make? Should I put 30 under buy? Should I put 30 under difference, or positive, negative, or whatever? There are two ways to think about this. You can choose the way you like. So you can either think opportunity cost is the actual cost as make, right? Because opportunity cost is the money that you forgot by not using it in a second best alternative use. So our first alternative use is make the pencil. Second best alternative is make notebook. If we make pencil, we cannot make notebook. So if we make pencil, we will forgo the $30, which is the second best use as the notebook. So we only have opportunity cost under make our pencil, because if we buy pencil, so remember this is the cost, right? If we buy pencil, we will not lose any opportunity. If we buy pencil, we can make notebook, right? So there is nothing to forget, to give up. But we will have this opportunity cost under make, because if you make pencil, you cannot make notebook. Therefore, you have to give up the $30 revenue income from the notebook. Or someone said, oh, how about put 30 under buy, but put as negative? Or you can think about this way. Some students, they prefer this way. They will think, hey, the $30 is kind of extra, income to offset the cost of buy. Because without opportunity cost, your buy is 160. But now with the opportunity cost, is that you buy at 160, but you also will generate $30 operating income. So kind of is a opposite, a negative cost to offset your cost. I would say either way works as long as you are consistent. Don't switch around like, hey, today I work as positive under make, tomorrow I work as negative under buy. I don't really suggest you to do that. I think it's better to just go with one method and then always use that method. And then I usually do make under it as a net extra under make. So if you do this, you will find out, oh, your make now will be plus this 30, right? Will be 180. And then your buy is still 160. So now it's better to buy. It's better to buy. Or I want to prove to you, right, that if you go with the negative 30 here, you can also find out your make will be still 150, but now your buy is 130. So it's still, your conclusion is still buy because the difference is 20 and also like 20 here. So no matter what way you go, it will not affect your decision. In your exam, I'm not going to just look at the final number. I will check your steps, logic, as long as it makes sense. Then don't worry too much. Okay, so that's the concept of opportunity cost. That's the concept of opportunity cost. So that's the something that you will give up because you want to do this, so you cannot do that. Okay, so we also said for the opportunity cost, since we are already thinking about this, so we said you only have opportunity cost. So you only have opportunity cost when you work at the full capacity, right? When you work at the full capacity. We said you are already working 24 hours every day. If I say, hey, here is the extra assignment to work, you want to work on one assignment, you have to give up financial accounting assignments or whatever. So under that situation, you will have the opportunity cost because you are already full capacity, right? You don't have any extra idle whatever. So you will have the full capacity. Under that situation, your minimum required price for the special order then will be your relevant cost. We said that before the cost plus your opportunity cost. We will practice some questions later. And then we said that if you have extra or you have more or because of excess or capacity, you have more than enough, then there is no opportunity cost, right? We talk about the first one. Your capacity is 20, making 20 pencils, you are only making 10. So if you take my order of 5 pencils, you don't need to give up anything because you have extra capacity or whatever. So on that situation, it's just the case one, right? It's only the case one. We just think about all the relevant costs like variable, material, avoidable fixed costs or whatever. Okay, so that's all here about opportunity cost. And then let's practice all the multiple choice together. Next one, what is the opportunity cost of making component that has no alternative use, right? We said if there is no alternative use, then there is no opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, two things: limited resource, and then you give up the income by not doing the second best alternative use. Next one, question 13. One of the items served as a restaurant is pizza. So I'm not going to really read. And then the question said, should the restaurant accept the offer, right? Someone said, oh, you can make the pizza by yourself or bake it or whatever. Or some supplier said they can sell the pre-made pizza, right? And you can just bake them. So if you accept the offer, then you can use the space to do the bars, I remember, and then to do dining. So every year you can increase your profit by 42,000. Okay, so now what's the number will be called. This is our opportunity cost, right? So you have the space, you only have that space. If you make a pizza, you cannot make the dining space. But if you buy pizza, you don't need to make it by yourself. You can, you know, just make it, you use the extra space to make a dining area there, and every year you earn 42,000. So that is our opportunity cost of making the pizza by ourselves. Now we still have a make or buy decision, and then you will find it's exactly the same as the topic 2. We just need to add our opportunity cost. So what's the relevant cost? We said the ingredients, $3 each, right? $3 each. So you don't need to make it. You make it, you pay $3. But this is per year, so we use the total. So we use the total because this is per year. 15,000 units. And then if you buy, you don't need to buy that. It's 0. So this is 45,000. And then labor, right? Labor, $2 each, 15,000. This is 0. You save 30,000. And then how about the labor to bake the pizza and the full allocated occupation cost? Okay, so the $1 is for the labor to bake the pizza. Really, the question is that is the pre-made pizza ready to bake, right? So even you buy, you don't buy the 100% already made. You buy the pre-made. You have to bake it by yourself. So if you make, you have to pay the $1, but if you buy, you still have to pay the $1 to bake. And then we also talk about that the $4 allocated cost is always irrelevant. The $4 allocated cost is always irrelevant. So we found out the baking fee is irrelevant because no matter you make buy, you still have to bake, and then allocated cost is also irrelevant. And then we also have the purchase cost for your pizza, for your pre-made pizza, right? If you make, you pay 0. If you buy $8 each, 15,000. And then now we know we have an extra thing called the opportunity cost. And I tell you, I personally put it under the make. I personally put it in the make because you will lose the 42,000 if you make the pizza. So you will lose the chance of making the area as a dining area. If you buy, it's 0. So this is 42,000. Okay, so this is negative 8 times 15,000. If you do all the math, you should be able to find out that your total make is 117,000, total buy is 20,000, and then your decision should be make, right? So should you take the order, yes or no? Because if you take the offer, then your income will be increased by $3,000 per year. If there is no opportunity cost, then it's just the opposite. It's another story. So that's all. Oh, if there is no opportunity cost, then you still need to make it, right? Make will be even much cheaper. Sorry, forget what I just said. So if there is no opportunity cost, then your make will be cheaper than buy. Okay, next one. Question 14 said, okay, so you are doing something and then you can either make it or you can rent it out, right? So the question said that you make it, but you do not rent out. So there is no opportunity cost, right? So there is no opportunity cost. And then let's look at the number, make or buy, and then we look at the difference. So cost is 36 each, and then $8 is a variable cost. So you have 28 fixed cost. And then 30,000 units, right? 30,000 units. So your total fixed cost will be, oh, what I'm doing? Fixed cost is $8, and then variable cost. $8 is the fixed cost, and then variable cost is $28 each. So you totally have 30,000 units, and each one is $8. So your total fixed cost, we call it 240,000, right? 240,000. And then you keep looking, purchase cost is this. We don't have anything. 60,000 of the fixed cost will be eliminated, avoided. Out of that 240,000, 60,000 will be avoidable. And then the left 180,000 is not avoidable. So which one is the relevant number we should use? We always use the relevant, which is the one that makes a difference, right? The 60,000 will make difference under make or buy. The 180 will not make any difference because it's not avoidable. No matter you make or you buy, you still have to pay 180,000. So now we have I'll do the total number, right? I'll do the total number. You can do each. Actually, each is easier because later it talk about per unit. Either one is fine. So our variable cost make is $28 times 30,000 units. Buy is 0, so the difference is 840,000. And then we said we have the relevant, or you call it avoidable, fixed cost. We say we use the 60,000, and then the buy is 0, so now it's 60,000. We also have the purchase cost, right? Purchase cost. So if you make it 0, if you buy it's 33,000 each, $33 each time our 30,000 units. So total give us 990,000. And then we look at the total. Under make is 900,000. Under buy is 990,000. So our decision is make, because each one you can save $3 if you make. But the question said if you buy, then we just choose you will lose $3 each. Okay, next one we continue. You will say why I use the total amount. So the question said you decided to rent the facility and you wish to realize 100,000 in saving annually. And then what's the minimum annual rent for the facility? So we said if you don't make it, you buy, and then you can rent the space out, then you can earn some rent, right? You can earn some money by renting out. So the rent will be our opportunity cost. The rent will be our opportunity cost. But this question, we don't know what is the opportunity cost. I set as 0. As I keep saying, there are many different ways. So this, I'll just show you my way. So you still have this. I'm not going to really write one more time. I'm lazy. Now you know you have opportunity cost, right? You have opportunity cost, but we don't know how much the opportunity cost. We know it's X. So now your total make will be 900,000 plus X. Your total buy is still 990,000. And the question said, you want to rent out. You want to rent out the space and you want to earn 100,000 saving every year. So what does that mean? That means your buy situation, this is the total cost, right? So the buy situation total cost will be $100,000 lower than the total cost that we make, because you want to have a saving under buy. You want to buy and rent out and to get 100,000 saving, which means your buy cost should be 100,000 lower. So this is the cost, right? So your total cost of make minus total cost of buy should be 100,000. Should be 100,000. If you do the math, you should be able to find out that the X should be 190,000. Should be 190,000. You do this, you put there, you will find out the equation will be solved. X is 190,000. So this is a good question. I like it. You can see the link between question 14 and question 15. So question 14, there is no alternative use. You just do make or buy. Question 15, there is alternative use, but the question said, I don't know about the rent. I don't know about opportunity cost, but I know you will save $100,000 if you rent out, if you choose buy and rent out. So as I said, if I want to twist it a little bit to put in the exam, I may just very straightforward. I tell you, hey, every year the rent maybe is 50,000 or whatever. So now what is the cost of make? What's the cost of a buy? So you just need to plug the $50 there. But this one is one more step actually. So make sure you practice those questions. Next one, question 16 and question 17. Those two questions are harder questions. So let me do those questions with you. It said you use 10 units and then the unit costs are listed below. The unit costs are listed below. So you have this. Look at the question very carefully. Material handling represents the direct variable cost of receiving that applied to direct material. So when you buy direct material, you have a handling. But even you purchase components, you also have the material handling cost. Okay, this is a separate charge in addition to manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead is a third variable, so which means relevant. 2/3 fixed, not relevant because the question didn't tell us. So now they said, oh, you can buy from outside at 15,000. Okay, so if you purchase from outside, then the capacity you are using will be idle. So what does that mean? No opportunity cost, no opportunity cost. If you decide to purchase them, what will happen to your unit cost? So we still do make or buy, and then we look at the difference, right? So we look at each unit. Because asking about the unit. You have the direct material. If you make, it's 1,000. If you buy, it's 0. So difference is 1,000. You have a material handling. You have the material handling, right? So this question said, under make is based on the direct material, which is 20% of your 1,000. So that gives you 200. Under buy, this question is tricky. It told you, even you buy, you still have to pay. So the material handling also is extra cost, even for the purchase component. So under buy, you still have to pay the handling cost. Based on the cost, based on their purchase cost, right? So your purchase cost is, we said, each one is, where is it? 15,000, and then we have to pay 20%. We have to pay 20% as the handling cost under buy. So it's 20% based on the cost. If it's your make, it's 20% based on the direct material, but if you buy, it's based on the cost. Still use 20%. So this is the tricky part. If you do math, you will find out that this one is 3,000, so the difference is 2,800 negative there. And then you have direct labor, there is no doubt, 8,000 as make, 0 as buy. And then you also have the manufacturing overhead. And we said 1/3 is a variable, which is relevant. 2/3 are fixed, so we only time 1/3. We got 4,000 will be our relevant, right? Our relevant, avoidable or variable manufacturing cost, right? Variable manufacturing overhead. We said this is 4,000. But if you buy, you save it, you don't pay. So the difference is 4,000. Last thing is our purchase cost. You make it 0, buy is each one is 15,000. And then if you do all the math, you will find out the relevant cost. Under make is 13,200, under buy is 18,000. So we should make. But the question said, if we decided to buy, so what will happen to our cost? Remember the other question said you will lose $3. For your income. But this question said, what will happen to your cost? Our cost will be increased by 4,800. Okay, so even the question is that what will happen to your income per unit? Income will decrease by 4,800 if we purchase. Really, really careful. I don't want you to lose even a point like a 0.1 or whatever. I don't want you to lose anything because it's so hard to get all the numbers right. So read the questions very carefully. Make sure you get the right answer after the right calculation. Okay. Next one, so talking about similar question, the same numbers, but then it said, you can, if you rent it out, then you can, if you purchase, you can rent out and then get $25,000, per month, right? Per month. Okay, now question is at the monthly cost, talking about monthly cost. So this question, instead of looking at one unit, you have to look at the monthly cost. Now we think about month, and then you know it's 10 units. So we look at the total month, the total cost per month. So you see these small things. That one looking about the per unit, and the next one looking about your 10 units per month. You may say, hey, those are small things, but you have to be careful. You put an extra zero, you didn't put the zero or whatever, your results will be different. So we still do make or buy. I'm not really going to like talking about the first part. I will say that very briefly. So we still have direct material. But now we are thinking about 10 units, right? We are thinking about 10 units, the only difference. Now, instead of 1,000, we'll put 10,000. Just do very briefly, quickly. And then the handling, we talk about that. That's the tricky part. So for make, will be 20% of your 10,000 will be 2,000, and then for your buy will be 20%, and then each one is $15,000, right? Now you have to make 10 units. You have to make 10 units. If you do the math, that will be 30,000. So this gives you 28,000. And then you have direct labor gives you 80,000 here, 80,000, and then you have a variable manufacturing overhead. We talk about that. And then it's 40,000 here, and then your buying is 0, so this is your 40,000 here. So last one, we said it's a purchase cost, so each one is 0, under make, under buy is 150,000 for 10 units, so it's 150,000 difference. So we said the last thing is we call it opportunity cost, that you will lose of the rent if you make. So I have 25,000 as opportunity cost here, buy is 0. So if you do all the math again, you will find out your total cost under make is 157,000, and then under buy is 180,000. So the difference is 28,000. And the question asks you, if you buy, what will happen to your monthly cost? So if you buy, your monthly cost will be increased by 23,000. Will be increased by 23,000. Okay, so when I worked on the question, I was just thinking about, hey, the variable, the manufacturing cost should be fixed. So why I still time the 10 here? But the question told you those are already calculate for you. This is the unit, so you have to time a 10 if you have a 10 units. Okay, so this is the tricky part. So that's the reason I keep telling you for chapter 11, do not try to memorize the question. Do not try to memorize the question. You know what's the concept of being relevant. You apply it, you read questions really carefully. I believe all of your English is better than mine, so you should be able to get the question and read it, understand it, be very, very careful, and then apply the concepts, do the math properly, read what is asked, and choose the right answer. Okay, next one, CPA question. So this question said, what amount is the lowest unit should accept for the component, right? So let's read this one more together. Selling price and unit cost. So your selling price for each one unit is direct material, direct labor, variable overhead, fixed, whatever. I have some question mark, because if the question doesn't say anything, I just put fixed as irrelevant. But if question says something, we have to do it specifically, you know, on this question. Company receive a special order for 1,000 units. You have alternative use for that order that could produce a contribution margin of 5,000, right? So your contribution margin for 1,000 units is 5,000. So for each one, then it's $5 each. So what's the proper name now? Because this is opportunity cost, right? Because if you make, you cannot do something else which will give you contribution margin $5 each. What's the amount of the lowest unit price you should accept for the component? What's the lowest unit price that you should accept. Okay, so let's say this is still the question of a one-time special order, right? This is a one-time special order. Okay, so now you can have two choices. It's either take it or not take it, and then we look at the difference. So this is a one-time special order. You take it or you not take it, and then we look at the difference. So if you take it, the question didn't say anything about fixed cost. Luckily, we don't need to worry. So you take it, the direct material is $15 each. Direct material is $3 each. Direct labor is $3 each, and then your variable manufacturing overhead is also $3. Oh, what I'm looking at. Question 18, what I'm looking at. Okay, so your variable manufacturing overhead is also $3 each. And then what do you need to think about? Okay, so if there is no opportunity cost, all you need to think about for the one-time special order is the relevant cost. But now, if you take it, if you take the special order, you will lose the chance of getting the $5 contribution margin each. So you still have the opportunity cost, which is $5 for each unit. So the minimum price you should charge should be the $14. The minimum price you should charge is $14. So remember, when we talk about make or buy, when we talk about one-time special order, sorry about that. When we talk about one-time special order, we wrote down here, we said minimum price is the relevant cost. But that's under the idle, you have extra capacity. So now you have the opportunity cost. You have the opportunity cost. So your minimum price you should to think about is all of the, like the previous opportunity cost, all of the left of the relevant cost, like direct material, direct labor, or whatever. We talk about those relevant costs, but you still need to add the opportunity cost. You still need to add the opportunity cost. Okay, think about our example I just had at the beginning of the video. I said you are already working full capacity, everybody working crazy 24 hours. And now you are thinking about taking Tom's order, right? Tom said, hey, I want you to make me something. In order to make Tom's order, you have to throw away, you have to give up Jackie's order. You have to give up Jackie's order. And Jackie's order gives you $5 each as the contribution margin. And then your Tom's order, the direct labor, direct material, whatever, is $9 each. So now when you have the quote, like Tom said, hey, how much you have to charge? What should you charge? You should not just charge the $9 as the direct labor, direct material, whatever. What you should charge instead should be $14. Should be $14. Why? Because you lose the opportunity of getting $5 from Jackie because of Tom's order. So Tom has to compensate you, have to give you the compensation to cover the opportunity you are losing from not working for Jackie. So the total relevant cost for Tom is $14. Is $14 when you have the opportunity cost, when you work at the full capacity. On the other side, if you don't need to give up anything, you have extra space, you have extra facility capability. So you can take Tom order, you can still keep Jackie order. So you don't need to give up Jackie order for Tom order. Under that situation, there is no opportunity cost. So the price you should tell Tom is just that $9. Okay, so talking about this question, I just thought about question this one. So we look at this question and then we do it. We start thinking about special order, and then variable cost is $9. So this is definitely relevant. And then you have the contribution margin for the next alternative is $5 each. We talk about this one, right? So if you are working at the full capacity, so the minimum price should be your variable cost plus the opportunity cost. Because when you have the full capacity, you are already working crazy, you will have opportunity cost. So will be 9 plus 5 gives you $14. Or if you have the excess capacity, all you need to think is variable cost, because there is no opportunity cost. You do not need to give up the second alternative use. You can still do your second alternative use, right? You can take Jackie's order too after taking Tom's order. So all you need to think about is that $9. So that's the reason we chose answer D. Okay, I'll leave question 19 later, make a video later. Then I'll talk about question 20 and 21 because it's kind of easy. So I'll leave the 19 and then the problem and talk about that separately. So this question talking about one-time special order, what's the minimum? So you have excess capacity, what does that mean? Said no opportunity cost, right? No opportunity cost. So what should we just think about? Direct material, direct labor, variable manufacturing, fixed, we don't worry. We said question didn't tell us fixed should be avoidable, not avoidable. We just assume variable, shipping, perfect, fixed, that is not included. So if you add 20, 15, 12, 3, you should be able to get the answer 50. Wow, this is easy, right? Next one said, you are working at full capacity. Oh, you will think, oh, now I have opportunity cost. I need to get what's the opportunity cost. And then contribution margin that would be displaced, right, by the special order is $10,000. It's $10,000. So your second best alternative will give you $10,000 for the 1,000 units. Then for each unit, the opportunity cost will be your 10,000 total profit you are giving up divided by 1,000 units. So that gives you $10 each. And now your minimum price will be 20, 15, 12, 3, and then we add our opportunity cost, which is $10. So will be 50 plus our old 50, remember? Plus the 10 opportunity cost gives you $60, Okay, I hope you feel better after we talk about opportunity cost. So go back to the topic 1, topic 2, and topic 3, and practice all the multiple choice. As I keep saying, I don't want you to memorize anything. Chapter 11, there is nothing to really memorize. Chapter 3, you will say, I still need to memorize maybe some formulas or whatever. Chapter 11, really nothing to memorize. You need to know what's the meaning of being relevant and read the questions really carefully. And then also do the calculation very carefully. You should be fine. Please let me know if you have any question. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.